Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have I talked about mom's boyfriend and how that narrative needs to stop? It's a bad thing for people to continue to keep bringing their young, defenseless children around just the person that you're in a relationship with. I think it's a horrible practice. I think that we're getting further and further away from bringing stability to children. This is yet another story, a cautionary tale that I'm trying to warn people. This is why you got to stop doing this. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And we're getting this story from my favorite source, lawandcrime.com. So if they're listening, thank you very much. They do an excellent job bringing these news articles. So let's talk about these hoodbillies here, okay? A 34-year-old Arkansas man, and I hate to hear this from Arkansas because it's my dad's original home state, so I'm always really partial to Arkansas. A 34-year-old man will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars after admitted to killing his girlfriend's 5-year-old son. Not his son. His girlfriend's 5-year-old son. Some other man's child. Drowned this little boy in a toilet bowl. Not gonna lie, that's the first time I've ever heard of somebody dying, a little boy, a little child dying in that manner. This man drowned this little boy in a toilet because the child bit his finger, which he had deliberately stuck his finger in the little boy's mouth. Could you be any more stupid? I guess you could try to be more stupid, but I guess it'd be harder. It'd be hard to be any more stupid than that. Hashtag Thug Zoo. Thank you very much. Talking about this thug boyfriend lying and mom taking her child to the Thug Zoo and the thug lion murdered and mauled her little baby, which I think mom should be held accountable. We're going to talk about that shiner that she got right there here in a second. We're going to get back to that. Don't feel bad for her. Only feel bad that she only got one of them. State Circuit Judge Danny Glover, Danny Glover, ordered Nathan Bridges, I think his full name is Nathaniel Bridges, ordered him to serve a 60-year sentence in an Arkansas State Correctional Facility for the 2022 slaying of a little boy by the name of Blu Rolland. Blu's name is spelled B-L-U. Rolland, R-O-L-L-A-N-D. Court records reviewed by Law and Crime. Glover handed down the sentence after Bridges pleaded guilty to one count of first-degree murder, which that sounds premeditated, and one count of first-degree battery in Blu's death. Bridges was given 40 years on the murder charge and 20 years on the battery charge to be served consecutively. Y'all know what consecutive means, right? It is to be served consecutively, not concurrent. Concurrent means all at once. So that means the years will stack on top of one of another. Consecutive means that once he finishes one 40-year sentence, then he has to do his 20-year sentence. So I like that. That gives him more time. Blu's mother, 30-year-old Ashley Rolland. Let me see if I can get her and her shining face back up on the screen. There she go. Look at that. Hi, Ashley. How you doing? She's 30 years old, allegedly. She don't look 30. But she was arrested over her son's death. She is awaiting trial on a spate of felony charges. Catch this. Including capital murder, permitting child abuse, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, child endangerment, and battery. Aren't you guys happy to hear that people are actually starting to listen to the AFC podcast and act accordingly in the courts, and the judges and the prosecutors are doing their damn jobs. If you allow this to happen, your ass should face just as much time as the person who actually did it. It was, let me go back, your child, ma'am. Why should your boyfriend, who you brought your child in the presence of, allowed this to happen, perpetuated it maybe, lied about it maybe, hid it maybe? Why shouldn't you do just as much time in prison or face equal charges? I think you should. And I think that they're going to get this right if they convict her of every bit of that. Now, according to a probable cause affidavit, Rolland's parents on December 16th requested the assistance of deputies with the Lee County Sheriff's Office in picking up their 2 grandchildren from Rolland's house, which is located in the 200 block of Front Street. Rolland had brought out her daughter, but claimed Blu was not at the residence. It's already a red flag. The daughter was there, but the son was not. Which Rolland told her parents it was just a quote-unquote allergic reaction. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders made contact with Rolland's father, who reported that his daughter told him Blu was dead inside the home and described where he was located. Deputies located where Blu was reported to be and found newly nailed down boards, the affidavit states. Now, I want to warn you guys, these details are going to blow your socks off, so if you can't handle it, just exit the channel. I want y'all to understand, as much as people want to cry and say that they can't hear these details, they can't listen, it's too hard to listen to these videos, I want y'all to remember that these are little bitty tiny innocent babies who had to live through this. All we can do is just listen, put some respect on these babies' names, and spread the message. I think we owe it to all of these babies. They found newly nailed down boards. Deputies removed the boards and found disturbed earth underneath. Deputies removed the top layer of the earth and found a child's flip-flop, shoes, and a red and blue blanket. Removing the top layer of the earth released the pungent odor of decay. Deputies then called the Arkansas State Police to take over the investigation, and a search warrant was executed on the home. The floorboards were torn off, and investigators found a small human body wrapped in multiple layers consisting of plastic bags and a blanket. That is intentional. The body was transferred to the Arkansas State Crime Lab and later confirmed to be Blu. So that means they were trying to hide the smell, which that means they knew what they did. In an interview with investigators, Rolland stated that Blu died on September 9th of 2022 after upsetting Nathaniel Bridges by biting his finger because he stuck his finger in a little child's mouth. First of all, then you would have to wonder, why the hell is your grown-ass nasty-ass boyfriend sticking his fingers in a child's mouth? Doesn't something about that sound kind of wrong? I know that could even be mistaken as being sexual in nature. What's going on, people in the chat? What's happening? What's happening? Talk to me. How can you constitute a legitimate reason to stick your finger in a child's mouth who you are not the biological parent of? What, is the boy choking on something? Why are you just randomly sticking your finger in a child's mouth? The little boy, Blu, had angered her boyfriend, Nathaniel Bridges, by biting his finger when Bridges stuck his finger in Blu's mouth. Bridges took Blu to the bathroom. As punishment, repeatedly placed Blu's head in a water-filled toilet until the little boy drowned to death. Nathaniel cut a hole in their wooden floor, dug a hole in the ground, and buried Blu under the house. Y'all want to make this get really weird? First of all, there's another living child that was still at the house. They tried to go about and act like this is normal. And I want y'all to think about how disgusting this mother is. What do y'all want to bet that the mother was going to act like this was just going to go away and she still continued to have sex with this murderous boyfriend of hers, knowing that her son is dead underneath the house in which he cut a hole in the freaking floor, dug it up, dumped him in there, covered it up, and went right back to like life is supposed to be normal, as if you didn't carry this child for 9 months, as if this child didn't have a biological father and grandparents that cared about this little child, maybe other family and friends, cousins, uncles, aunts, and just act like that's supposed to go away and you continue to live your life and have sex with your nasty ass boyfriend. That's hood Billy shit. Rolland stated that she was in the living room while Blue was in the bathroom with Bridges. When Bridges exited the bathroom, Rolland entered the bathroom and saw Blue struggling to breathe and his body was limp. Rolland also told investigators that Bridges was responsible for her daughter's injuries. She claimed that he held the girl's head and upper torso under hot water in the bathtub, another bathtub story, as punishment for her behavior issues. Rolland is currently being scheduled to be in court again on September the 17th, so that's not that long from now. That's just over a month from now, depending on when you're watching this video. Let's get to the news videos. Here we go. Let me give you the fair usage, then we'll go from there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Yeah, guys, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up and share this video so more people can see it. Leave a comment. And let's discuss what's really going on here. I'm going to try to keep this first video a little bit short.
These children have been beaten, tied up, restricted, not fed, anything you can think of now, with the exception of what you would expect to happen. That wasn't the trauma.
A 5-year-old little boy is drowned in a toilet and then buried underneath the floor of his mother's home. Now his mother's boyfriend is going to prison. I have the sad case of Blu Rolland and his sister, who police say was abused, but thankfully survived. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Blu Rolland was a 5-year-old little boy who should still be here, but he died a horrible, horrible death at the hands of his mother's boyfriend, Nathan Bridges, in 2022. Nathan Bridges just pleaded guilty to charges related to Blu's murder in Lee County, Arkansas. The details, at least what was outlined in court documents, are horrifying, and what really happened is probably much worse than that. Blu and his sister were being abused, and Blu was murdered. Blu's alleged sin, biting Nathan Bridges' finger. Blu's mother also faces charges, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to outline what detectives claim Ashley Rolland told them about how Blu died. Sheriff's deputies were called to the family's home in December of 2022 after receiving a call from Blu's grandmother, who was also the grandmother of his sister. Ashley Rolland's father was also there and had told police that his daughter told him that Blu was dead inside the home. The affidavit says, deputies located where Blu was reported to be and rendered aid if he was alive. Deputies located where Blu was reported to be and found newly nailed down boards. Deputies removed the board and found disturbed earth underneath. Deputies removed the top layer of earth and found a child's flip-flop shoe. Y'all do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. I want y'all to think about this. How depraved, how desperate do you got to be as a parent? Not just a mom, but just as a parent, whether you're a father or a mother. How depraved do you have to be to watch somebody kill your damn kid and then start digging up floorboards in your house, digging up dirt, bury your kid that they don't clearly give a shit about, put it back,
and then walk around like ain't nothing happened. I'm pretty sure they probably walked over that spot. Like walking over a shallow grave in your own house. And you act like everything is normal? Like they're not going to find out? Man.
And a red and blue blanket. Removing the top layer of earth released the pungent odor of decay. Investigators also interviewed Ashley Rolland in December of 2022. An affidavit says Rolland told detectives that Blu died on September 9th of 2022. Blu had angered her boyfriend, Nathan Bridges, by biting his finger when Bridges stuck it in Blu's mouth. Bridges took Blu to the bathroom and as punishment repeatedly placed Blu's head in the water-filled toilet until he drowned him. Nathan cut a hole in their wooden floor in the living room while Blu was in the bathroom with Bridges.
They absolutely had to have smelled it. So here's the thing. When the authorities actually finally showed up, which we talked about this just a second ago, like they had to unearth the child and then started pulling back the blankets and I think some of the plastic, and then that's when that smell really, really came out. So apparently the smell of decay was kind of subdued because they had tried to hide it. So it really wasn't as bad as it normally would have been. But yeah, that's wild. That is just
a grandmother speaks out tonight after losing her grandson, who was found buried under the floor of the Arkansas home. Tonight, she's sitting at the bedside of her 6-year-old granddaughter who made it out alive. Fox 13's Lakia Scott joins us tonight. Lakia, you say this timing is heartbreaking.
That is correct, Dominique. His grandmother told me that his body was discovered just a day shy of his birthday. She said that if she would not have gotten to the home sooner, she would have lost the girl too. But the little girl is here tonight. She's at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital recovering.
But there's so much anger. Because I miss my grandson.
A grandmother in tears, devastated after learning her 6-year-old grandson was buried dead under the floor of his home.
I thought of what he had to himself.
Karen Rollins spoke with Fox 13 about the pain she's left with, having to cope with the loss of the little boy who she told me was named Blu. Karen says his 6-year-old sister who survived the abuse suffered major physical injury too.
But she has 3 cracked ribs, a wrist old fracture in her hand, and then it still hurts her, so it's hard to grab her by her hand.
Karen said the little girl, whose name is Taylor, had stab wounds from being forced to get her haircut. A haircut she said the little girl told her was for punishment.
She had the like stabs from the scissors, from the trying to cut her hair in her head. And her nose is all cut up. I don't know, splashed from the water or anything. And then it just was devastating. Sores on top of her ears.
Police arrested the kid's mom, 28-year-old Ashley Rolland, and her boyfriend, 33-year-old Nathan Bridges. According to the Lee County affidavit, Bridges is accused of holding the girl under hot water for punishment in the bathtub, claiming she had behavioral issues.
Her mother said that he bent her backwards and put the hot water on and let it run on her chest and held her back of her head into the water.
And according to police, the mom, Ashley Rolland, was also charged in the case. Both the suspects are facing several charges, including capital murder and abuse of a corpse. Coming up at 10, we'll hear more from the grandmother and tell you how you can help this family as they work to raise money for the kids. Dominique.
Thank you so much, Lakia. We look forward to hearing from you again at 10.
Arkansas mother and her boyfriend are behind bars right now after a 5-year-old boy's body was discovered in his home. His 6-year-old sister is being treated for several injuries here in Memphis tonight. Now, this all happened in Morrow, Arkansas in Lee County. That's just an hour west of Memphis. Action News 5's Bria Bolden was there today and spoke with neighbors and the children's paternal grandmother. We do need to warn you, some things you may see and hear may be disturbing.
The grandmother of these two children tell me her granddaughter is recovering from multiple injuries, including multiple broken ribs.
You're asking, did the grandmother ever report any of this? I'm thinking, and I'm just assuming that that's actually how the authorities got to this point, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, they were told on by somebody.
Burns, and more. She also says her grandson was found in a wooden box in this home behind me. Her grandson would have turned 6 years old just a couple days ago. A neighborhood and family changed forever after the discovery of 5-year-old Blu Rolland's body in his mother's boyfriend's home December 16th.
You're living right here, and it's right under your nose, and you don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Glenda Farrell lives just feet away from the home in Morrow, Arkansas. She says the children and their mother moved in as recently as early this summer. Blu's older sister, 6-year-old Taylor, was taken from the home before the gruesome discovery that same day. Her paternal grandmother, Karen Rolland, did not want to go on camera, but told us she had been fighting for visitation rights for months. She said, quote, "I heard Taylor whimpering. Of course, I didn't know what was going on, and I bust through the door myself because I didn't like the whimpering. Sounded like she was hurting." Karen Rolland's son was previously married to Taylor and Blu's mother, Ashley Rolland. She says she found Taylor with serious injuries, but no sign of her grandson. She said, quote, "She had puncture wounds like scissors had poked through her head. It looked like she had been strangled around the neck, bite marks on her legs, several fractured ribs we found out, and an old injury to her leg. And it looked like it had been fractured before that didn't grow back correctly." Rolland also says her granddaughter also told her her mother's boyfriend, Nathan Bridges, threw boiling water on her. Rolland says she rushed the girl to the hospital with several injuries, including second and third-degree burns on her arms, chest, and feet.
I thought it was horrific. I mean, who does that? I have no words. It's just devastating.
Rolland says doctors also discovered Taylor was malnourished and weighed just 36 pounds. More family members went to the home in Morrow that day and confronted the mother and her boyfriend, who Rolland says eventually confessed. The two reportedly called Blu's death an accident. Authorities found little Blu's body later that night. Little Taylor is still recovering from her injuries at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital in Memphis. Arkansas State Police are leading this investigation.
Wooden floor in a home. WREG's Mike Suriani reports, and he shows us what happened in court today for the two people now charged in the crime.
This picture of 28-year-old Ashley Rolland with two black eyes was taken Monday morning as she was booked into the St. Francis County Jail. She, along with Nathan Bridges, are both charged with capital murder in the death of a 6-year-old boy whose body was found beneath the floor inside this house in Morrow, Arkansas. Both Rolland and Bridges appeared in court Monday.
She got one shiner. I don't know what happened to the other one. They could have put a matching one on the other side, in my opinion. She needs one more of them things.
Where they were ordered held without bond. The boy's body was found late Friday night by deputies who contacted the Arkansas State Police. News of the child's death and reports the boy may have died as many as 3 months ago sent shockwaves through the small town.
Very sad that I have a house just 2 houses over and had no idea that there was a deceased child that close.
Investigators say a young girl was found in the home and had what appeared to be scalp burns and other signs of abuse. In addition to capital murder, Rolland and Bridges are charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and endangering the welfare of a minor. Monday afternoon, a couple who said they were Nathan Bridges' parents came to turn off the water and gas at the home. While both declined to be interviewed, they said their son is innocent. In Lee County, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Very tragic story there. Ashley Rolland and Nathan Bridges are scheduled to be back in court January 23rd.
The big reason why this story really caught my attention was because of the fact that for so long, we've been doing videos on the AFC podcast for about, 6 years now? In January, I think we'll be going on 7 years. But for the longest time, I've been asking, why is it that when mom's boyfriend does something to these kids, mom is there, mom is complicit, mom knows about it, mom doesn't do anything about it to fix it, and acts like she's just going to turn a black, what is that, a blind eye or a black eye to the situation. These kids are not this man's kids. These kids were her responsibility, not his, and he should have never had access to these kids. Really, what she should have done was gave up custody to the biological father, but you know she ain't going to do that because these hood billies, you know what they like? Hashtag babies for benefits. They love to continue to keep getting those benefits, whether it be somebody praising them for being a parent, whether it be child support, Section 8, food stamps, car vouchers. Who really knows what the benefit is? But children do come with a lot of things that naturally would give you an advantage if you choose to use them that way. It's not correct to do that. But nonetheless, she clearly wanted to be up underneath this boyfriend. She didn't have to have the kids. That's a choice. But I love to see when we finally start holding people accountable for taking their children to the Thug Zoo, which is a colloquialism that I made up. If you ever hear anybody talk about the Thug Zoo, you tell them, oh, yeah, you got that from the AFC podcast. Make sure y'all tell them when you hear them say babies for benefits or any of my hashtags. Right? That is a trademark of my show, and I believe that our words need to spread worldwide, and I'm thankful that so many people listen to us, whether it be in small amounts or great amounts, that you're continuing to spread the message of love and respect for our babies, and we're going to get justice for every one of them. To this prince, he deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great, and they robbed this boy and almost robbed his sister of an opportunity to grow up and become something great. To the little boy, young prince, R.I.P. To the mother and boyfriend, I hope that y'all never get to see the light of day again and spend the rest of your life in prison. If they could have gave you more than that, gave you the good old death penalty, I think that would have been great also. But, you know, it's crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this, okay? Thank you.